to say, Matt,
What's that?
if that fucking snack box motherfucker shows up, I am going to lose it. I'm going to throw this remote at that TV.
Don't do that.
And I'm going to quit gaming. I'm going to become a farmer.
You're going to be a farmer.
I'm going to farm.
You'll get to slaughter your own animals.
I'm going to become a ant farmer. I'm going to have a big ant. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Dojo here. I'm Jeff.
I'm Matt, and I would think you would have an aversion to ants after your mishap.
Yeah. And we're going out of the frying pan of Battlefront 2 beta and into the fire of Middle-earth Shadow of War. So
but you have to start your narration like this.
Oh, do you?
Lofty dialogue.
See, you know what? This motherfucker.
What happened?
I played this game a little bit because I wanted to make sure.
All right.
And I don't understand games these days where it's like, just give me a second save slot, yo.
Oh, really?
Because I'm in Act 2, and it's like, oh, well, we're just gonna delete your save game.
Well, yeah. Why are they not doing that? If I want to create a new,
I think the first one did, but I don't.
I want to create a new Breath of the Wild save slot, I have to make a new
profile. Yeah, I've had to do that. I've had to do that as well. So, but anyway, it's Shadow of War time, and it's time to find out.
That sword is broken.
It's time to find out. Well, that's his sword. His knife. He's got a knife sword.
Is it a knife dick?
It's a knife sword.
It's a knife dick.
No, it's his sword that got broken. Now he uses it like a knife.
Where's the breathy elf queen?
It's
not narration.
There you go.
There it is. He's breathy elf queen.
He's
got it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
This is beautiful.
I've never seen flowers before.
Boy, his son just doesn't get anything.
Oh, really?
It's like he's
all
like,
about
oh,
the
I
life.
miss my wife.
Ugh.
Yeah. So you remember what happened in the first game?
Yeah. He got his family got killed.
Yep. He got killed.
He got killed, and then he meets the elf lord.
And then Celebrimbor connects to him and keeps him from dying.
Okay.
And because Celebrimbor made the rings, Sauron tricked him into making the rings.
Oh, he's one of those elf. Okay,
he's
so he's
like
original
old timey guy, right?
Interesting.
And so he's pissy that Sauron took his rings and killed his family or whatever.
Okay, right.
And so at the very end of the last game, you kill off like Sauron's kind of like henchman.
Okay.
And then Celebrimbor is like, we have to go make a new ring of power in.
Oh, was that Sauron?
That's Sauron.
Oh, well, no. Oh, that guy is Sauron. Oh, interesting.
I don't remember exactly what that is, but anyway, so that's where we pick up is like,
I should have died with my family.
we got to go.
Don't be a baby.
Oh, bitch.
You're all talking about your family all the time. God damn it.
I mean, boo-hoo.
My family died 600 years ago.
All of our families are dead.
Also, I was an immortal, so I could have been alive forever.
Yeah.
Jerk.
Boo-hoo.
Yeah.
White people problems, am I right?
Hashtag Middle-earth problem.
Hashtag man problems.
The
Oh.
world of men
Oh, this shit.
is ending.
What, are you underwater? What's going on?
Isn't that supposed to be... I don't know if this is a spoiler, but... Should I say it, or...
We'll get to it in like 4 seconds. So,
Okay.
like, oh, come look at the war.
Oh, yeah, that's
Look
war.
over there.
That's
You
some
can see the
over there.
war. That was a Mount Doom is.
Oh, the girl Mount Doom.
Sauron-
Where are the Gorons?
Sauron must be looking at something sexy. He's looking at one of those orc porn. Then
I
Mount
can't
Doom.
think of anything less appealing than orc porn.
Just some orc, some like Magic Mike orc in a little,
Ooh, that's weird.
Speedo.
He fucking
Oh, man.
Oh, the Death Eaters got him.
Wait, how did Celebrimbor get taken? He's literally like we're soul bonded.
But because
We're bonded at the soul.
because what's like so like
Soul bonded.
like Siamese twins, but like in
with
your souls.
souls.
Well, that sounds
Souls.
unpleasant, and
Very light
that
souls.
surgery will be really expensive.
Hey, honey, could you make your
I know flowers are like
scarf not clip into your back anymore? This
Right?
game costs like $6 billion apparently.
I mean,
so.
you know, don't worry about it. It's what's wrong? Oh, it's I swear to God, if she just starts bleeding out of her eyes and mouth, that would be awesome. You killed. We all float down here. Yep, there it is. There it is.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, she didn't start doing it out of her mouth and stuff. That would have been cool.
I like the way the spirit realm is all just like the vertical hold is, or the horizontal hold is off. We don't even have that anymore. That's a joke that like 4 people understood.
I was gonna say I had to think for a second to remind myself what the fuck you were talking about. What's old man Jeff's going on about his vertical hold and his contrast and his tint?
Put some foil on that antenna so we can get the Playboy
You
channel.
gotta adjust it. Oh man, you see, that's an orgasm that
Yep.
you know
The Wraith calls
you'll be
to you.
walking funny after that.
I call to you.
Wait, which one is it? Is it you? Who's the Wraith?
The Wraith is
like the card.
maybe his
movie?
buddy, like your friend.
Is it that?
I don't come over and call Jeff Beard.
You do that sometimes.
I do say that
Yeah,
sometimes.
it's just
Yeah, that's
sometimes you
fine.
do.
It's like I
no,
don't.
it's the fart smoke that took Celebrimbor.
The fart. It was seriously a Death Eater. It was a Death Eater from Harry Potter.
Yep. Oh well, it took his Patronus, right? Celebrimbor is
shit.
his little Patronus.
No,
buddy.
wait. What are the things that the Patronuses fight? Shit. They're not Death Eaters.
The smog monster. Godzilla versus Harry Potter.
Oh my god, I have to draw that.
Oh no!
That's next on the list.
Ah, son of a bitch!
Yep, you put it out.
I
okay,
did.
you're right. It is the first thing that happens.
What is not Death Eater? What the fuck were those things called?
Dementors.
Dementors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those things are real
Be
spooky.
more on the nose, JK. Are they demented?
Are
because
they-
they're Dementors.
They're oh.
All right, so here we go. We're trying to get Celebrimbor. We've tracked the Wraith over here.
So we're gonna
learn how to
Assassin's Creed this shit.
Fucking get some, you son of a bitch.
So is
Ooh.
that a knife or is that an actual just broken sword?
Well, okay, so he's got 2 swords on his back,
Okay.
and when he fights, he uses the sword. That sword, this one right here, is the one that was broken when they killed his family, and he uses that as like his little knifey knife.
Gotcha.
So.
He was all, these orcs are preparing for war, and the orcs are preparing for war. What do orcs do when they're not preparing for war?
Smoke a lot of weed.
Oh, that makes
Mostly
a little more
smoke
sense.
weed.
They're actually super chill race. It's just Sauron took all their weed away.
They like to watch Cheech and Chong movies.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I was about to. That is actually like, oh shit! You think you can get him from here? Nope.
Maybe, I don't know. It says stealth
woo!
kill.
Wait, if he's got powers.
He's got powers from the ring. Not
okay.
from Celebrimbor anymore. So.
Got it. Yeah,
Motherfucker.
Batman.
Whoa, shit. Whoa.
Yeah, Middle Earth Batman. Ding dong.
Yep.
Ding dong. Oh shit.
Dingus dong door.
Dingus dong door. I like it.
Yeah,
Ding dong door.
Everybody's got an OR on the end of their bullshit. It's like Celebrimbor and Gondor and Mordor and fucking
Flabador
and
Trogdor
the Burninator.
Burninator.
Yeah,
The strong bad door.
Can I take your thing? Can I take your soul? Watch this, Matt.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I didn't know we could do that.
Like a boss. Yeah, because I already played this game a little bit.
Of course you did.
I wanted to see if we could get to the
spice spiders.
I wanted to see if we could get to like one of those big siege battles.
Oh, okay, cool.
But that apparently
Hopefully.
takes place like 8 hours into the game.
Oh,
so.
bummer. Okay, so what they're that's very creepy.
Spiders.
Step on him. I would have just been like,
Oh shit. Is that?
It's Celebrimbor.
Oh, it's
He's being held captive by farts.
farts.
He's like,
How many tacos have you had?
Talion, it smells so bad in here.
Do not be so hasty before going into that room. I had Taco Bell for lunch.
let me tell you right now, it's kind of interesting.
Ooh.
Shelob. There's actually a 23 gigabyte 4K cutscene add-on that you can get for this to make all the cutscenes 4K.
Okay.
I didn't do that.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm Kmart brand Liv Tyler. Hello.
Yeah. But it's like
I'm
it's
the
like
generic
oh,
brand Liv Tyler.
are you telling me that it's a It's a morally ambiguous female character who is also probably a spider allegory of some kind.
No, she's like literally a spider.
Oh, literally a spider.
She's literally
but she's
a
going to be
spider.
a sexy, like, she's got to be a sexy lady,
Well,
sexy.
they tried putting boobs on the Shelob spider model.
I would have
and it just-
preferred that.
It didn't really come out quite the same way.
Wow, she is like straight up Liv Tyler. Like straight up
She's
Liv Tyler.
Very Liv Tyler. She's like Liv Tyler and Claudia Black got thrown into that fly machine from The Fly.
Oh,
and they
yeah.
came with the other
I'd
side.
be okay with that. They're both very pretty.
So anyway, she
Yeah,
stole Celebrimbor to basically
I feel like you're saying his name differently every time.
no to
I am Shelob,
yeah.
and I deal.
So to sum up, she stole Celebrimbor after
Right.
they made the new ring that is not beholden to Sauron.
Okay.
And basically, she's like, if you want him back, you got to give me the new ring,
Got it.
or else I'm going to kill him. Italian's like, what, you think I care about that elf son of a bitch? And he's like, no. And then she started rubbing his bones together.
Ooh,
or
that's
something.
weird.
I don't know.
Ugh.
Even though he's a ghost.
Don't do it.
Rubbing his ghost bones
His,
together.
his spooky, scary skeleton.
Ghost Bones is actually my favorite porno website too. So, welcome to GhostBones.com.
Is it really?
No,
I mean,
I'm
isn't
more
that,
of a clown
oh no.
kind of guy.
Oh shit. This is
Oh man, I got some jelly on my neck.
I'm bleeding a lot.
He must mean something to you.
Okay, like
See, okay, here's the thing. I know your objections to this because I also watched the Jimquisition, right?
sure.
I though kind of understand what they're doing here because the problem with all of this game is unless you want to rewrite Lord of the Rings, you need somebody who's not Sauron to be the big bad.
Right, because
Because
bleeding.
hey, can
Still
we
bleeding.
I want to try to talk to them.
Whoa.
Oh, he's hoping the next leap will be the leap home.
Oh, of course.
Oh boy.
Shelob. You gonna fight? You gonna fight? You gonna fight?
Whee!
Yeah, this
you
is
forgot,
like.
you forgot 10 seconds ago.
So, yeah, I guess Shelob has all this great supernatural power. Where the fuck was this in Return of the King?
Okay, now listen. I'm not trying to just be the biggest dick in the world here.
Uh-huh.
The ring is very powerful.
Oh,
that's why she's got the powers. Because
I forgot she had the ring. I'm still
took-
kind of focused on.
like it's
Sure.
like the one ring, except that it's not connected to Sauron, and it's like super powerful. And Celebrimbor put like a bunch of his soul into it.
Got
so
it.
if anything could just like stop him, I
Right,
blame
I know,
him for
I-
being stupid more than I do the game.
I'll grant you that. I'll grant you that. It's just, you know what? I'm gonna let it go. I'm not gonna harp on it anymore. I'm gonna consider this a reinterpretation of the Tolkien universe.
Well, you know, have you ever read the Silmarillion?
I know that it's convoluted, and it's basically the whole thing is a big Bible analogy.
I must know if Shelob's vision holds true.
So Shelob showed us a vision because she's got that powers apparently. I don't know
yeah,
why.
sure. You know, spider.
Of
She can't just be a giant spider.
with the ring of power on. All
But
right.
then have it on one of her giant spider legs. That sounds like it would be more terrifying and horrible.
Look,
What?
I understand the argument, but by the same token, having a giant spider that doesn't have people facial expressions be your primary antagonist limits the emotional range that that character can produce to the audience just by looking
You
at
can't just
them.
have it be like.
Well, then you have one emotion. Gross. That's a
Why
spider.
can't it just have really cool voice acting?
That's not going to carry when it's coming out of a fucking spider.
I think you are underselling the acting capability.
When was the last
arthropod
movie, TV show, or video game where a giant bug was like, you're like, oh man, I really like that bug. I really emotionally connect to that bug. Like that.
Well, you're not
bug-
supposed to emotionally connect to the bug. The bug is the villain.
The bug is the morally ambiguous, like it's crazy thing. You're
I
gonna
got
be,
here really fast.
You're gonna be taking a lot of missions from that lady, and so having every cutscene just be a big old spider.
I'm also not that invested. I just think that it's funny. But yeah,
I mean, I understand what
I
people,
get where you're coming from.
I understand, and at the same time, I understand the kind of spidery femme fatale thing is a real. it's like the thing I have with I don't have a problem with the princess getting kidnapped as being sexist. I have a problem with it because it's bad writing and
Because it's been there,
we've done that a million times before.
Right.
So
That's fair.
I
mean,
understand a little bit, but by the same token, all of the characters in this game that are not orcs have always been a little. So.
That's fair. Well, it kind of does, bro.
Let them be slaughtered.
Now, this is your typical, like, Italians, like, oh, people emotions. I wasn't even a person when I was alive. I was an elf, and we didn't really even have emotions.
Meh. Hugo Weaving. You heard that,
We must find a worm and make him talk.
You heard that,
Worm talk!
You know who was originally wanted to be, yeah, Superhero Landing.
There. His mind is weak.
Weak-ass mind. Come here.
The search for the Palantir.
So the orcs are basically going after the last city here, trying to find the Palantir, and so now we're trying to find the person who is leading that charge as our first kind of like orc target.
Damn!
I mean, it just seems like you could like knock him out or whatever,
Or
but
just stab him or something.
yeah.
Who's the? Do you remember? Did you remember hearing that originally the guy who was supposed to play Elf, Lord Elrond, was the guy? The person who wanted to play him was David Bowie.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah,
I would have liked that.
He would have. Yeah, it's like I like Hugo Weaving.
And he's like, dance magic, dance magic, dance magic.
You remind me of the Babe. Would have been amazing.
Yeah, it would have been pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, all right, we've got a little bit of a ways to go. This is mostly just like combat tutorial and stuff.
Sure.
So while we're doing that, I had a thought about, so one of the big problems here. Oh, actually, this is a pretty nifty little cutscene up here. So we're sneaking through. We do have to kill these guys. I wonder if I can kill one of them from stealth. Oh, yeah.
It's the Grave Walker. I thought he was dead.
Oi.
He is.
I love him.
You know what's funny is those were a different set of orcs the last time, or when I first
Really?
came
Oh, so
through here.
procedurally generated orcs?
Well, yeah, is that they've just got like a billion. Would you please stop spinning around?
That was awesome.
So, okay. So I don't know yet, and I can't say. I was watching Total Biscuit talk about the Star Wars Battlefront 2 microtransaction stuff. That's real scumbaggy. The big thing, if both Matt and I watched Jim Sterling, so we've both been inundated with him basically like giving this game like literally no quarter about the whole
he
loot box
really
thing,
laid into this
over the last couple of months. Now I feel like a lot of there's an argument to be made about whether okay, so let's break this down into a few different things. So Jim Sterling a lot of times talks about kind of like how like people that have that kind of that are susceptible to kind of like gambling addiction are going to have a little bit of an issue with this.
Whales, as they call them.
Yeah, I don't really have that, and I understand that like that's kind of a shitty move, but it doesn't really affect me because I don't really like I could take Overwatch boxes or I could leave Overwatch boxes. I don't give a fuck about Overwatch boxes. Now, I will say that one of the things that is interesting. Oops, shit. That's what I was trying to do.
All right.
Is that there's been some reports that apparently, like, towards the end of this game, there's a true ending.
Yeah.
And if you want to get it, like, you either have to buy. Oh, okay, maybe back up for a second and say, this is a $60 video game that I bought for $60 in tech.
Full price.
If I hit this button right here, I can go to the marketplace after a certain point and buy like orcs and orc upgrades and weapons and legendary loot and stuff like that. So apparently at the end of this game, there's kind of a break point where towards the end you need to either grind quite a bit for gear or buy that stuff in order to win the game. To get the true ending, I should say.
Okay, yeah, but you can still get it, but you have to like grind the shit out of it or something.
So that's a question that I can't answer, that I feel like I want to know more about, because here's the thing. If it's okay, I think that loot boxes intrinsically are not a bad idea just by themselves. I think that putting them in single-player games is a scumbag move. But you know what? Like the ship has passed.
And it's why we're here.
Oh, okay. What the fuck? That ship has passed a little bit for me because, like, I've seen the video game industry do a bunch of scummy-ass bullshit over the years. Like, I used to, how many times have I been on this show saying, don't pre-order? People are like, but XYZ reason to pre-order. And I'm just like, don't buy a season pass. And people are like, but I want to. So here's the thing. As long as we all keep doing this stuff, I feel like nothing is going to change. So I'm tamped down a little bit on my, like, here's my high horse. Stop buying games that have loot boxes in them. Now, the other thing, what the fuck? I had that guy totally targeted. Oh, well.
Kill one of his buddies.
So the other thing that I was thinking, though, is, like,
should have sent more reinforcements.
He's very well spoken for a
dude. I ran into one orc that was just like, you know what? You could kill my men, but when you interrupt my nap with your shenanigans, then we're having a problem. And I was like, oh, napping orcs. Okay.
All right, I like that.
But, okay, so if you do have to grind quite a bit to get... The real question that I have is how much grinding? Because grinding is like, too much grinding is a very subjective thing that's different for different people. Like, some people are going to feel like any amount of grinding is bad, but, like, there are still JRPGs out there that totally want you to grind.
Well, sure.
So it really kind of depends to me on how much is the amount that they're talking about. Like, are we talking about it's a 12-hour game and then you need to do 6 hours of grinding to get to the end? Or are we talking about, like, you need to do 2 hours of grinding? Because I'll be honest, not to excuse this.
Sure.
But I like Shadow of War, or I liked Shadow of Mordor.
Right.
And if it's like, well, you've got to play this super fun game for an extra 2 hours to get the full ending, I'm kind of like, well, boo-hoo. I have to play a game I really like for a few more hours. Like, I get a visceral. I like.
My raiding party was trapped in the lower city overnight.
I like it when you get an orc and you beat them and, like, they come up and they say their thing to you. Like, I like that part of this game quite a bit. So if you have to do that a whole bunch of times, I'm not entirely sure that I count that as, like, a negative. Now, because there are other games out there that, like, any of the old Final Fantasy games, if you want to beat, like, the weapons, right, or like the big bosses that
you got to train,
you have to grind and you have to put together a weird build.
You got to get swole, bro.
Right, like Dark Souls or Bloodborne. If you want to take on a boss, you need to. I mean, there are games that have requirements to get to a thing. The real question, and again, I want to make sure that people know here that I'm not excusing this. I just want to say I need to know how egregious this is before I categorically condemn it, because if this game is fucking awesome and amazing, and the whole thing, like I said, is that you've got to play this amazing game for an extra 3 hours before you can beat it, well, I don't have a problem with that. Like, I like playing games that I like.
Like, I mean, it's a question of whether or not the extra playtime becomes repetitive or not. Like,
I mean, to be honest, like, there are some JRPGs out there that I might even consider paying to like, you flip this around and you say, let's say that the Witcher 3, for example, had an option to just say, hey, do you want to skip a quest? Here's an item where you can skip this quest, but we're going to show you highlights of the story, and we're going to show you highlights of the story. We're going to give you all the gear and the XP from it, but you don't have to actually play it. I might actually find a certain amount of value in that. If I'm like, okay, listen, I'm not feeling it today, but I do want to see the storyline, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that I understand I understand the whole reason that people don't like loot boxes, because it's pay-to-win mechanic, and especially in a single-player game, that's a real garbage piece of shit. But you know what? As Sterling pointed out in one of his last videos, we're long past the point where you get all the game for $60 between season passes and microtransactions and, like, little bullshit out there. We are past that point.
I was sort of thinking about that myself, where it's like, it's like
It's not like you're either going to get a game that has loot boxes or you're going to get a full video game where they haven't already cut content to sell you a season pass. Every fucking thing has a season pass. Fucking Zelda has a season. One of the difficulty levels in Zelda is hidden behind their season pass. Like, that's dick. Like, that's total garbage fucker. Like, that's just...
I've tried to play that whatever of the sword.
The horde, the challenge.
The challenge of the sword, and man, I don't... I have a job.
Yeah.
I don't. Look, I was thinking about this myself recently.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the problem is that it's like you talked about. People are spending money on it.
Yep.
And I think I respect the perspective where Jim Sterling is coming from, which is a consumer advocacy perspective. He comes from the perspective of somebody who grew up. He's made no bones about the fact that he grew up very poor. He grew up in a very poor, low-income household, and the only way he was able to play games was by trading stuff in at GameStop.
Yeah.
And for him to think that the industry has all of these things it's moving towards, where, I mean, you've got stuff like summer sales and stuff, but the industry has all these things that are like simultaneously trying to circumvent. Making games cheap or charging you additional content you may want.
Sure.
Otherwise, you'll miss out on it, or it might be a big pain in the ass to get to, or I don't know.
No, look. Here's the thing. I am not trying to make the case. I am not trying to make the case that this game is not nickel and diming you. That this game is not a game that has a $90 collector's edition with like a season pass with a bunch of microtransactions in it. I am not saying that is like great or anything. What I'm saying is that we've already passed the point where I feel like we can all expect to get a full game for $60, because I was arguing with people about, like, no matter how good the DLC for Mass Effect is, you shouldn't buy it because that's going to encourage them to keep doing that, and lo and behold, it has. It's the same reason that I don't want to encourage pre-ordering, and the same reason I don't want to encourage season passes. Like, I think that all of that stuff is kind of gross, but here's the thing, is that if any amount of people keep buying it, then they'll keep doing it. So it's like, unless we all band together, unless like everybody says none of us are going to buy, unless Shadow of War tanks financially, and people are like, I didn't buy it because it's got those fucking loot boxes in it, or the next thing, then like they're going to have more of them. So for me now, it's a question of, so how offensive is this mechanic?
It reminds me of a couple of years ago, I think at New York Comic Con, Chris Ryle, editor-in-chief of IDW, was giving a Q&A. He's taking a Q&A, and somebody stood up and said, I've got X amount of kids, and I work so many hours a week just to make minimum wage. Well, you guys need to stop making alternate covers for comics. Because how am I supposed to afford all of those? And his response was, then don't buy them. Like, we're just following the market. So you have to wonder how much of it is consumer responsibility and how much of it is industry responsibility, which I think both are
there's
important.
I
don't want to both sides it or anything, but
Well, this is not. But this is not.
I know.
This is not Donald Trump.
I know. I'm just saying that because it just popped into my head.
Yeah. I mean, like, when I look at this so far, what I've played seems very, very well put together. Like, I like
pretty robust.
These cutscenes. I like the mechanics. So far, I really like what I'm playing of it. So the question becomes, if I can play all the way through and it's okay, because let me put it this way.
Hey, how you doing?
Like, Deus Ex Human Revolution would let you buy the praxis points that would literally break the game. Right? Like, you were not supposed to buy your way into that much power quickly. There are so many games out there that will let you buy armor, weapons, things that are that will make you more powerful in the single-player game off of, like, the PlayStation Store, as opposed to opening rando boxes.
It's it's a case by case basis in a lot of cases. I mean, I'm sitting here thinking about, a bunch of info just dropped because wasn't there some show over the weekend or something?
Skill points.
Woo.
Finally.
What was the show over the weekend that had a bunch of?
Oh, fuck you.
Was it Gamescom or something? I don't remember.
I don't want that one. I want the one that lets me do executions. Sorry.
That's fine. There's a, but they a bunch more info about Jurassic World Evolution just dropped, which is a game that could be very easily subject to a metric shit ton of microtransactions.
Sure.
And it's something I'm really worried about because I really am excited for this game, and I don't want to, because I used to play mobile games until I realized, oh my god, I'm spending way too much fucking money on these things.
Yeah.
Like there was a little Jurassic Park mobile game that you could either work your way up to getting these dinosaurs, or you can spend $25 and buy a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Sure.
And I did that, and after I did that, I realized, oh my god, I can't play these games. I don't necessarily think I have an addictive or gambling level personality, but I think I am prone to impulse buys.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And again, don't get me people of the audience, do not get me wrong. If somebody came to me and they were like, Jeff, should we keep putting loot boxes in games? Of course I would say no. Of course I would say no. What I'm curious about, though, is because what I'm wondering is this seems to be totally a case of Monolith that made this game had like good intentions in, like they made a good game, and then they were forced by their publisher to add a bunch of dick into it. A bunch of dick. Bunch of penis.
Bunch of penis dick.
Right inside of it. And that they tried to make it as inoffensive as humanly possible. So it becomes really kind of a hard question about, like, the only way that this is going to change is if you literally don't buy this game, like hold the developer and the publisher to task and make sure that they are not that they know that this is unacceptable to us as gamers, right?
Sure.
Unfortunately, the way to do that is that you need to. Hey, look, it's a loot orc.
It's pretty cool. You can just drop into them. You can just drop from any height and just be like, "Fuck you! I'm a fucking guy. I'm one of these things."
Oh wait, shit. We don't have time for any of this bullshit. So, damn it, dude! I was just trying to get that thing and then get the fuck out of here. All right. We'll just get the fuck out of here. How about that?
Woo!
How about you guys just have your little orc party or whatever?
Oh man, that makes my stomach drop when you do that. Yeah.
Anyway, I forgot what I was saying. Well, the thing is okay. So what I would like to know more about before I jump on the go fuck yourself, like this is the worst game of all time bandwagon, is how much of an effect do these loot crates have on the single player game?
Sure.
If I can ignore them, then although I think it's a scummy ass business practice, because I remember what I was going to say before.
Okay.
You run into this situation where you're like, okay, so the way for us to express our displeasure with the fact that these mechanics are in a single-player game is for nobody to buy Shadow of War. Well, Warner Brothers doesn't go out of business when you do that. Monolith does. And then Warner Brothers goes, all right, let's buy a small company, make a Batman game, and put a bunch of microtransactions in it because we know you fucking nerds will buy Batman games.
Fucking nerds.
Ooh. Yeah, this is the barrel. We're gonna wrap it up after this.
Sure. Speak, friend, and enter.
Well, I like this is like, look at it, and it opens.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's very nice though.
It's high production value. It's nice.
Yeah. And I didn't. By the way, to anybody who cares, like I didn't. Yesterday when we played Battlefront 2, I didn't really get a chance to look into the way that any of that loot box bullshit in that game worked. So, if you were expecting me to talk about it, it was just me and Brian Brushwood yelling at Star Wars guys, going, "Ah, Star Wars!
Yeah. Star Wars!"
Yeah,
I like it. Okay.
So this is, I don't know if we did these in the last game, but like there are these little missions where you actually get a power from doing the mission. But the missions are actually a flashback where you're playing as Celebrimbor, like in his fight with his original fight with Sauron.
I still feel like you're saying that differently each time.
I'm not saying it differently every time.
Well, it's just Celebrimbor.
Celebrimbor. That's his name. I've said it the same way.
Celegimbor.
Every goddamn time.
Ginga
No, I did.
Flabbity flu.
Nothing that I said even remotely resembled Glibba Glamma Gloomba or whatever fucking Rick and Morty bullshit you said there.
Squanchy McSquancherpants.
Man, how about that Szechuan sauce?
Oh my God!
You know what? That is brought up like I didn't know that. I didn't really know this until now, or until that. Come on, I only got a minute left.
Go.
Like the young Rick and Morty fans who are just garbage people.
Yeah, just stupid and
Who
don't
are
actually
like-
understand what the franchise is supposed to be about.
Well, no, who think that they're smart because they like Rick and Morty.
Oh yeah.
Who are just like, oh man, it's such an intellectual show. You don't even know. Like, I'm super smart. All right, here we go. Activate Elven Rage. Come on, one more. Stop it.
Sorry.
I think I only got 9.
I want to see how far I could get. I actually could have
Before I
probably.
punch you in the dick.
I probably could have gone another.
Dick punch.
Oh, punch Sauron in the dick.
Oh, I'm
Kick him in the butt.
Celebrimbor.
Whoa.
He's like, what's
Whoa.
up? I'm a fucking elf
He
man.
fucking fighting Sauron.
You dick face.
Well, that's what's so
magoo.
funny about Sauron is that he's
whoops.
shit.
Oh, it just slipped right off. I should have gotten it fixed.
That's the funny thing about Sauron is that he's not even the biggest bad of the Tolkien world.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think that's really. I mean, he's just. Middle Earth is just kind of where it.
It is perfect.
It's just where he wound up.
Yeah, I know, dude. I was there when you made it.
I was there.
Fuck.
Shut up.
All right. Well, you know what? We're going to wrap it up here, but we are going to come back tomorrow to play some more Shadow of Mordor.
It'll be
And if
fun.
I'm not mistaken, I think we're also going to play a little Patreon Shadow of Mordor when we get a chance. So, okay, did I do... Yay, I got that one. So I
Yeah.
got skill point and then
Hey.
full wrath. So when you do these, I got a skill point.
Jeff is really good at genocide.
Yeah.
It is lost for now.
Okay.
But we can still secure the Palantir.
So,
I don't know what that
oops. The plant. Yeah,
I have
you
not
do.
been paying attention to that.
You do.
Do I?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so you remember in Lord of the Rings how they had okay. So here's your this is your actual loadout.
Okay.
And you actually now get these gems. So one of the things that I got from the from that was this wealth gem. So that gives 7.5 increased percent in chance that they'll enemies killed by this weapon drop. So
All right.
and then
Uh-oh.
the Palantir in Lord of the Rings, it's the thing that Saruman has that he's like looking at Sauron with.
Oh, the seeing stones.
Yeah, the crystal ball. I see you.
They are not
that
all
one.
accounted for. The
Right.
last seeing stones. We do not know who else may be watching.
So they have.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, they fucking
Caragors.
bringing in Caragors. So they're. Are you done? Nope. Okay.
Nice.
So bing bang bang boom. This city has a Palantir. That's why we're here. Is we're trying to get a Palantir so we can spy on Sauron, so we can like take the fight to him.
Take the fight to Sauron.
Because that's our whole thing. We don't like that Sauron guy.
Yeah, what
he's
a dick.
He's a guy
He owes us money.
that don't like him.
This is awesome. I love jumping up the side of the building like this.
I
I'm
like
not
the
even
fact that
playing it.
they've got these little. They've got the little X button prompt that makes you go real fast.
Real fast.
There's a little bit of a problem when you go to one of these lips where it just becomes like some it's some Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
That's not how physics works bullshit.
Don't worry about it.
Anyway, let's wrap it up here because we're just about to trigger another story mission. So
All right.
if you're watching this on YouTube, hit the like and subscribe button. If you'd like to see these videos a day earlier, you can always head on over to RageSelect.com. We've got all kinds of fun stuff for you. You know what? Let us know. Let us know what you think in the comments. You think I'm full of shit? I don't care.
I think you're full of shit.
Well, that's good. Everybody should know that Jeff is full of garbage, and he's a person. He's not a person. He's a orc from Shittown. If you want to buy this game or anything else off of Amazon, do us a favor and start at the little links that we have down at the bottom of the page. Oh, this guy had way too much to drink last night.
He had some problems. He's like, oh god.
Medic? Where are you going, buddy? If you'd like to help us out even more, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/Rage Select. You know how Patreon works. You kick us some bucks, and in return, you get something back. And in this case, it's bonus videos.
You want to take your sword and your shield off there,
He's
buddy.
like,
so
no.
he's like, no. I need my playmat, my juice box.
So, yeah, that is how we keep Rage Select a thing. So if you like Rage Select, you would like it to continue to exist, maybe consider going over to patreon.com/Rage Select and kick us a buck or two. It does it. If everybody that watched these videos kicked in $5, then I could pay Matt.
What a concept.
What a maroon.
Yep. Okay.
So, Matt, where can people find you on the internet?
Well, you can find me if you Google Matt Frank and Godzilla. That's generally how you'll find my stuff. Kaiju Samurai, Spankzilla85, Mattzilla85. Those are all my handles.
Okay.
Let's see. I also have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/MattFrankArt. If you just want to kick a couple of bucks my way and watch, check out some behind-the-scenes stuff. That's mostly what I'm going to be focusing on moving forward.
Okay. It's that town.
Boop-a-doop-a-doo. If you're in the Texas area, come out to Alamo City Halloween Fest at the end of the month, last weekend of October. We're doing a little Halloween. The Monster Squad is going to be like, they're doing a Monster Squad reunion.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Wolfman's
Yeah.
got nards.
He's got nards.
Yep.
And that's it.
Okay. Well, join us back here tomorrow for part 2 for more Shadow of Mordor. No, Shadow of War.